Yes, good morning, guys. Today we'll try to understand one of the Java interview question called exception handling. Okay, so what is exception handling, guys? First of all, what is the exception? So first we should understand, right, what is the exception. So I'll come back to all these things in a moment. So let me just remove. So what is exception? So exception is it's an during the execution of the program, it's an unexpected error that happens and it will terminate the execution of the program. Say for example, you have called a method. Okay, so this method, while executing this method, assume that this method is having some 10 lines of code. Okay, so assume it is having many lines of code, and assume that exception happens, some unexpected event happened in this particular line. So the remaining line will not be executed and it will terminate and it will come out of the execution. So this we should handle, right? Even though if exception happened at this particular point, so we have to continue the further execution. So that is what the handling of this exception. Exception is an unexpected event happens and that will terminate the program execution. And in order to terminate the program execution, we have to handle this so that remaining further code will get executed. So that is what we call it as handling the exceptions. So first of all, let me come back to the types of exception. How many types of exceptions are there? Sorry guys. So one is checked exceptions, and the second one is unchecked exception. Okay, so I'll tell you what is the checked exception and unchecked exception. So checked exceptions are the exceptions that compiler is able to recognize it. Compiler will be able to identifying it. Checked exceptions are the exceptions where compiler will identify it. So unchecked exceptions, it is opposite. A compiler is not able to identify that unchecked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions are the exceptions that are exceptions which compiler will not identify. So we have to handle them manually. For handling the checked exceptions, compiler will give us the suggestions, so we can go with that. But unchecked exceptions, how do we handle the unchecked exceptions? That is the question, right? So let us get into it into the editor. Then we will try to figure out what is the checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions, guys. So first, let me try to uh, get one checked exceptions, right? First, let us take a checked exceptions which compiler can recognize it. Okay. So the best example for checked exception is, say for example, I'll write some print statement. Program starts. So then in the second line, I'll just write thread.sleep. Okay. So assume some 2000 millisecond I have given, and in the third line I'll give you one more uh, print statement, program ends. Okay, so let me execute this. What happens with, see guys, exception in the thread main java dot error, unresolved complications, so interrupted exceptions. Okay, unhandled exception type. So here the compiler is already showing in the red mark. So here it is showing like, so there could be chances of getting the exceptions, not chances, there will be majority, we will get the exceptions over here. We have to handle this. How do we handle this? There are, for check, to handle the checked exceptions, there are two ways. One is throws declaration and one is try catch block. First, let us go with the try catch block. So what you have to do is that specific statement you have to put it in try black, and inside the catch back we have to catch that exception e. And if you want to print that exceptions, so you can print that. So now e dot get message. Okay, so that is how you have to handle the exceptions, guys. So it is very simple, guys. You have to put that particular statement in the catch block. I mean try catch block. That's it. See, system dot out dot program starts done, and the system dot out dot program starts done. So now this is one way of handling the exceptions. So other way is like that for checked exceptions there are two ways. One is using the try catch block, and one is using uh, throws keyword. So it is telling like you add a throws keyword. So in the main method it will add that throws and interrupted exceptions. So and you can go with that. If you execute it will work fine. So that's it, guys. Program starts and program ends. So there are multiple types of exceptions over here, and we don't have to worry about too many exceptions, because so there are thousands of exceptions are there, guys. So what we have to do is like we have to like uh, understand one main exceptions called exceptions class. So and we can catch with all the exceptions with that particular exceptions only. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. So let us coming back to the unchecked exceptions. Okay, so now we'll move on to the unchecked exceptions. I'll remove this throw keyword also, and I'll save it. So let us assume, guys, let me like in just like we'll get the exception first. 1 comma 2 comma 3. Assume this is the array. Okay, so let me write one print statement. This out. This is array reading start. So then I'll put one more print statement. A of some 3. A of 3 is not exist, right? Obviously. So this is array reading ends. Okay. So now A of 0 is there, 1 is there, 2 is there, but A of 3 is not there. So I'm just trying to print the A of 3 what it comes. So see, this is, guys, this is unchecked exceptions. So here the compiler is not identifying this exception. So here in this line there is an exceptions. So that is array index bound of exceptions. Correct. So this compiler is not able to recognize it. So that is the reason it is an unchecked exceptions. Whereas in the case of thread.sleep, compiler was able to recognize it and it was showing in the red line, right? So that is the reason it is checked exception and it is unchecked exception. So here like this is array reading starts, but this is printed, but next line it did not print and this line also did not print. How do we handle that? So very simple, guys. The same thing, try put it in try block and catch block. So here you don't have to worry. You put like generally you put like exception. Okay, so you don't have to like go through too much about how many types of exceptions are there, and what all these exceptions like that. So beginning level it's not much required. So once as on when like your experiences goes up, so you can go through it. So now I'll execute it. So here like throws keyword will not work, guys. When it comes to unchecked exceptions, throws keyword will not work. When it comes to checked exceptions, throws keyword try catch both works, and the checked exceptions are the exceptions which compiler will recognize, and unchecked exceptions compiler will not be able to recognize it. That's it. So I'll execute it. It should work fine. See, this is an array reading start, and this is an array reading ends, and it has printed. That's it. Okay. So let me post this as a 4. Let me see what happens. So that is how we can handle the exceptions, guys. So that's it, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. If you have any concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. And also like there are few things about try catch block. So when how many catch blocks can have, and whether catch block and try catch block will get executed or not, and what is the finally block. So that and all, if you want to know more about that, you please let me know in the comments down below, guys. Thank you so very much.